All right, thanks, Tad. Hey, Doug. There have been a lot of young quarterbacks who have started the season very well, and Gardner's one of those. Has something changed with the way that quarterbacks come into the league, or the way they're coached, or has this year been different? It seems like it would have been against sort of the expectation that young quarterbacks could, without the off-season practices and training camp and so forth, start the season as well as they have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for the other ones, but with Gardner, I think, like I said, he's done a lot of work in the off season. Whether it be film study, whether it be thrown with a mask on while out there. I think he's done a lot of things to keep himself going. I think that it's just. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the college game and the pro game is closer now than maybe what it's been like, in the early days. I'm not sure. I think a lot of terminology. There's a lot of carryover. I know that going back and looking at the colleges and talking to college players, I know for me, I've seen a lot of carryover from terminology, which I think helps these players a little bit. And I think football being full time, instead of having to worry about class and do those things too, I think helps. And I just think it really depends upon each player, and what they can grasp and what they can understand and how they, what they've been brought up with, and how fast they can convert some of the things that have made them successful in college to, what's going to be successful in the pro game. Because, I think you're still probably challenged with the third downs and the red zones, the disguising of coverage, the protection aspect of it. If you haven't done that in college, I think you can have some issues, unless you have a veteran center. But you always want to make sure the quarterback can do that. But Gardner is he's really improved in all those areas that we've talked about.
And just based on what Tad mentioned, who kicks field goals for you this week?
Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon, right. All right, let's go to
Brandon.
Mike Toronto.
It'll be a Brandon. Yep. I'm not sorry. It could be Brandon Cook or Brandon Wright. It's a Brandon though. I can
Some
give
Brandon.
you 50% of that answer.
All right, let's go D-Rock and then Mark. With Chark,
I thought I got away with that one. I thought I was going to get away with it. I couldn't pull Cole.
With DJ Chark, was that the result of the hit and the fall that he took on that deep pass, and
yes,
that just kind of get aggravated more throughout the rest of the week this week?
I just think we're being careful. You know what I'm saying, Mike? I mean, but yeah, that's the play that it happened on. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what is your confidence level in Tyler Shatley being able to start there at center?
High. You know what I'm saying? I think that we've seen him, I think he's proven that. I think he gives you a little bit greater confidence. He's a veteran guy. He's done this before where he's filled in, where he's played. He's played at a really good level. And I've got a lot of confidence in Tyler, being in that position. So I'm not concerned about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
D-Rock. Let's go Mark and then Mia.
Yeah, and following up on that, what about Brandon Wright? What is your confidence level with him?
High. I think sometimes you do things early on to protect yourself. It's unfortunate you don't ever want to use that stuff, Mark. But here's the guy that we brought into camp. We really liked him. We wanted to spend some time with him, and then we had to make a move. To get to fill up a roster spot, and we wound up letting him go, knowing that in the back of our minds we were going to bring him back to basically, thinking about the COVID situation. If something happened to one of our kickers, and unfortunately, Josh went on the IR. But I think I would be, I'd have a whole lot different type of anxiety if we just took someone off the street and hasn't been. But he's been here kicking. I've been watching him kick, so I got full confidence in him in any phase that we use him. That's the one thing great about the kid is he can do all three. He can kick off. He can kick, field goals. He can punt. I mean, and he has a really, really strong leg, and he's really athletic.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark. Let's go Mia and then Jamal.
First, just to follow up to that, Doug. So will Lambo be placed on IR?
Yes.
Okay. And then just curious, I know we asked you this on Monday, but you're still getting used to looking at the tape a little bit. When it comes to the Dolphins, are you anticipating Fitzpatrick, Tua? Do you have to have two separate plans? And what did you see, if you do think it's Fitzpatrick, what did you see from him on tape Sunday that you hope to capitalize on tomorrow?
I mean, I think with to answer your first question, I think you always have to be ready, for that. I think if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing coaching wise, you got to make sure you cover it, which we have, for either one, because it could be by injury or not. But I would think that Fitzpatrick's going to start the game. I could be wrong, but with Fitzy, obviously we've known him. He's been in the league so long and have a ton of respect for him. He's a guy that you're not going to be able to fool him. He's a guy that has proven that he can get on a real hot roll, and really light it up. He's a guy that can extend plays, by using his feet. He can make first downs by using his feet. He has he has a really high. I mean, he's an unbelievable competitor. So, there's a lot of film out on him. And then, with Tua, there's not a lot. You got to go back and, there's no preseason, and you got to look at what he did in college. And, obviously he's an outstanding football player, and, we just got to be ready, in case they make a move, or, something unfortunately happens to Fitz, or you just got to be prepared for all of that.
Awesome. And I'm not sure if this is a Tad or Doug question, but still just want to make sure. Linder is not going on IR.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Awesome. Just want to make sure we're reporting it right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mia. Always diligent. And let's wrap up with Jamal.
Hey, Coach, we've talked a lot about the rookies on this team. What about a guy like Chris Claybrooks? When you've had some of your corners banged up on the back end, he's the first guy off the bench on the field. I know in training camp you said he was kind of raw at that corner position and needed to develop. What sort of development have you seen from him as a corner?
Yeah, I think, the first thing, Jamal, that we saw out of Chris was just, again, I'll use the same language. I mean, just highly competitive kid, So we didn't really know what we'd be able to get out of him, early on from the corner position, because, we were really focused in on getting him ready for our special teams. So, when we put him in there and then we saw him being competitive, we're like, wow, this guy, he's doing some good things, some really nice things, and getting his hands on balls and everything. And we're like, but gosh, we really got to work on his technique, and then we felt like, hey, if we can work on this guy's technique, this guy can really be a good corner for us. So that's where I've seen the biggest growth, just where our focus shifted, as far as, hey, we know he's going to play for us on special teams, let's go get him ready. Not thinking that, hey, listen, we'll bring him along at corner, to all of a sudden, like, hey, listen, we got to shift this focus now and get him ready for both. And that's where I've seen him get a lot better. And I feel comfortable if we need to put him in there, because he's a guy that has speed, and that speed makes up for a lot of things that you're not doing well technically. But once we get the technique down and the speed, we feel we got a pretty good football player.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach.
Great. You're welcome.
Thanks, Jamal. We'll do one final one with Mark.
Hey, Doug, I'm just curious. Did you send anything to the league about the Clowney offsides? It looked pretty blatant, and the two highly questionable pass interference calls. And did you hear back from the league?
Yes, I did. I did send them in. I did hear back. And, and if you guys are going to pay for the fine, I'm more than welcome to tell you what it is. But if you tell me what you think, I can tell you if you're right or wrong.
I think Clowney should have been flagged for offsides at least once, probably twice. And I think both PIs should not have been flagged.
Well, good. You'll have a second. You have a second job if you want one as an official. I think you're right.
I know
All
one
right,
thing's for
good.
sure, and I will not be paying that fine. But if everyone can hang tight, we'll have Miles on in a couple minutes.
I didn't say anything. I just
Yeah.
way to back me up, Tad.
I'm definitely not saying anything.
He distanced himself quickly.
I'm glad you guys are going to help out in case my mask falls down, which I'll tell you what, I'm going to have
Oh
it
my
taped
God.
to my nose.